everyone, welcome to another episode, another channel. First of all, I would love to say thank you for the support. Thank you for all my viewers. I didn't honestly expect this much positive feedback at this stage of my YouTube journey, but I'm so grateful and I thank you so much for watching, for subscribing. It gives me so much energy to keep pushing and to keep creating content that's helpful for new moms. So today's episode is rather something that just came to me while I was narrating my birth story to someone, and then I realized there's so much I needed to know before the whole birthing process, but there's not much information out there. And it's just now that looking back, I'm like, it's just so much information that is very helpful to someone else, and yet really it's very hard to get that kind of information out there unless you know someone who's been through the process. And if you don't know anyone, it just gets so hard. And it's for you, as much as you're prepared mentally and you've done everything you need to do for the birth of your child, there's so much uncertainty on the hospital you've chosen. How is the service? What do you expect, really? Because honestly, for me, I had so much information, but from people, and then now it's just different people have different stories, and then I'm putting all this together. And also just I didn't, when I got there, it's not everything that I knew. There were some things that were a bit of a shocker to me. So I think I'll just try and give the importance of the things you need and the things you go through in a chronological order according to how I experienced it myself, so that way I'll be able to at least remember as much as I possibly can. So this is not a birth story. This is just your preparation before and after your birth. So everything else, other than your birth. Personally, for me, I chose Nairobi Hospital. And the reason being, my gyna at that time is only positioned usually has appointments at Nairobi Hospital and Coptic. So between the two, obviously, I just had to go with Nairobi Hospital. And reason being, I've heard bad stories about the other hospital. So for me, that was already information I needed. So going with Nairobi Hospital, also, the people I know who've had babies, all of them have had their babies at Nairobi Hospital. So that gave me at least a bit of, at least encouragement to want to be okay with the hospital that I chose. So first, some things that you need to know is, do you have the things that you need to have before you go for your delivery? So normally you can either have your birth scheduled or you can have your birth according to nature. So you can either stay home and wait for your labor or take yourself to the hospital. So I wasn't for the idea of waiting for labor because it's my first time. I don't know what to expect. I don't know how much pain is enough pain. I don't know when it's too soon for you to go to the hospital. So I chose to have my birth scheduled, so then I know exactly when to go to the hospital. And again, in line with my doctor's availability, so that worked perfectly well for us. So I chose a date that was perfect for everyone. Everyone was around. Whoever was traveling was back at that time. So first you need to just know between the two which one you need, and you need to go book your hospital delivery date in advance. You don't want to just walk in as an emergency and then out there are no rooms for you, or there's no slot, or it's just a mess. It's really, you don't want that. So we had everything done a few weeks or months or so before my due date. So I knew exactly when, I knew exactly where, I knew exactly, everything. So that made my preparation sort of 100%. So now came the date of the delivery. Now the date I was supposed to go to the hospital. So one thing, it was during COVID time. Okay, it's still COVID time, but at that time it was right in the middle of COVID. But I think at that time it had started subsiding a little bit. So when we went to do our booking, no one really told me that I needed to be at the hospital a little bit earlier to do a COVID test. So we just walked in, like I'd planned to start my procedure at 4. So I remember we walked into the hospital at around 2. And then we get in, and when I want to just walk into the labor ward, I'm being told I have to go for a COVID test. And my husband was not having any of that. So it was, you can imagine the chaos. They're like, no, okay, whether I'm positive or not, like, what does it change? You know, I'm still going to have to deliver. Like, no, it's not for you. It's for just caution everyone around you and all that. But I was a bit upset because I feel like if they'd have told me that while doing my booking, I would have probably gone to the hospital a little bit earlier. I would have done it the day before or something. Anyway, so after a little bit of chaos, I mean, this is the Ruby Hospital. You've paid so much money, and yet something as small as giving you the details you need for the day, it's not there. And I even remember, like, when you went for the booking, it was a bit chaotic because you're being told, oh, you need to, if you're paying by a check, you need to take your check to, I don't know where, the other side of the hospital, and you're like, we're not doing that. Sorry, you have to scan it or something. I can't be coming here to a private hospital and I'm being treated like I'm in a government office, you know, like we just, no. So even for us, we were a bit angry at the fact that you should have told us, send a message or something like, your due date is tomorrow, please come today for a COVID test. Because I wouldn't think I needed one if I wasn't informed about one. Anyway, that aside. So after, we had to just skip the line and have my COVID test. And then after that, funny thing, it's just me who's doing the test. It's not even my husband and my mom, and it's just me anyway. So after that, after you've done your COVID test, which you just need to make sure you have all this information with you, then now I walk into the labor ward. So funny thing is, I know this is a bit strange, but I used to hear, there's the labor room and then there's the delivery room, and then, but in my head, you know, it doesn't make any sense. So I thought the labor room is essentially my room. Like, after my baby, I'll still go back to my room, and it's this nice room. And then maybe I don't know why I didn't think maybe for delivery room I'll have to go to another room. Anyway, so when you go to the labor ward, so ideally initially we'd paid for a private room. So then when I get to the labor ward, I'm being told they're not private rooms, so we'll put you in a shared room. Like, no, we'll just sit and wait for someone to leave, because I'm not going to a shared room. I paid for a private room. And then the nurse tells me, oh, no, for labor ward, you'll just stay here until you've had your baby. Then after you've had your baby, now we take you to your private room. No one told me that. I thought when I was paying for a private room, it's for the private room. I didn't know the labor ward is now a whole other story. You see, these are the things I didn't know about. So anyway, luckily I got a private room. So I was able to stay in the room. So something else, like when you get in, you know, you're not prepared. I don't know. I feel like, the nurses were really friendly, by the way. But I feel like it's my first time, because you asked me, is this your first child? Yes. So then they should take you a bit slowly, you know, like introduce you to things. So I get there and the nurse is like, is this your first child? Yes. Who's the doctor? All that information very quickly. Okay, take these clothes and go change. Okay, so I'm like, okay, so this is it. Like, I change and then get to the room, and then now I'm starting the process. Like, I'm thinking, okay, no, but this is a bit too fast. Like, can you just induct me a little bit? Like, tell me what to expect and all that. Tell me what this dress is for, because I didn't know I was coming to wear this thing. You know, it's just, it's like everything. You are so calm, and then suddenly everything is just thrown at you, and suddenly you go crazy. So I'm trying to keep calm. I'm trying to be, okay, no, it's not a big deal, just go change. So I go into the room and change, and then I'm taken into my room, and then I'm put there. So they start doing all these checkups and making sure my baby is fine and everything, and putting all these gadgets around you, you know, for the heartbeat and all that. And it just dawns on you, you're like, okay, this is it. Maybe this is the day I die. You start thinking about all these things. You're like, anyway, good thing this is the last day. Like, tomorrow I'm coming out of here with my baby, and that's nice. And then, so you'd expect, I don't know, the nurses were nice, but I expected a little bit of a special treatment considering the amount of money you paid. But oh well, no, it's not like that. Okay, at least for my case, I didn't get the service I thought I expected to get. Like, no, I'm in bed, and then I have to go to the toilet, but then I have to ask for sandals, or I have to, it's like I'm asking almost for everything. Like, no, I shouldn't be asking for things. Like, shouldn't things just be there for me? Because you've paid for that service anyway. So now I'll talk about the things I should have carried. that I didn't carry. So first, you're given a list of the things that they'll provide for you. So they're like baby diapers, and then the maternity pads, and yeah. So I didn't think I needed to carry maternity pants. Yeah, I know they'll provide the pads, but I was thinking, shouldn't they tell me? I don't know. Shouldn't they list the things that you're supposed to be bringing? Because I remember when you went for the booking and I asked, okay, so is there anything I need to bring? They're like, no, you don't need to bring anything, really. We'll give you everything. So I get them, they give you this huge pad and there's nothing holding it. Yeah, anyway, for the first few hours of my my inducing procedure, it wasn't such a big deal. But then later when I was really laboring, why is this pad here? Like, it's so uncomfortable. I'm not able to move. I'm not able to walk. It will drop. Like, shouldn't I have been told to come with pants for holding this? And I was really angry about that. So I think it's very important that you carry your own maternity pads. It's very, very, very important. And then after the whole procedure, when you're due when now the time has come for you to deliver, then you'll be moved to the delivery room, have your baby, then move back to your labor room. Then as your baby goes through the checkups and all that, and then now when everything is set, they bring back the baby, and then now you move to the other side of the hospital, to the other wards, to the other wing for your stay. Now that's the private room stay. Yeah. So okay, everything in between was fine. I had nice nurses, the doctors, everything was just smooth and nice. And then so the ward I chose was St. Teresa, and a friend of mine told me to go for that because they have the long seat, or a seat where at least if someone wants to spend the night, they can spend. But the one thing I didn't like about the room was the fact that the bed is manual. Like if you need to adjust it, incline it, lift your leg, whatever, everything, I have to do it manually, and I have to do it on this side on my foot side of the bed. Like I have to come out of bed, adjust, and then go back to bed. I almost told the nurse in the middle of the night to come move me to another ward, because I was thinking, this is the last thing I need to do right now. It's not like you're in pain or anything. Obviously, the first few days you're not in pain. It's just that I am so tired and sleepy. The last thing I want is waking up in the middle of the night to come adjust my bed because I need to feed the baby. Can you imagine you're a new mom and you have to do all that? Yeah, so I didn't like that about that. But I think for everything else, while in my private room, everything else was pretty much to my expectation. Except obviously for the food. I mean, the food was absolutely terrible. And at that time, you're not allowed to bring food from outside. I'm thinking, why can they allow you to bring food? Okay, I know the reasons that they can't allow you to bring food from inside. For one, if you get sick, then who's to blame? But I'm thinking, I've just had a baby. I want to be able to eat a burger and soda and just eat. Because after you've had your baby, you're extremely hungry and thirsty. Like, I just need to eat. Why are you making me eat this horrible food? I used to just call the nurse and ask her for all these extra things. I remember, like, even immediately after eating, I'd call and tell her I need cake and juice, or I need this and this, I need yogurt. And I used to really ask for a lot of food, because I'm thinking, I've paid all this money for this. Good thing, they're actually really nice people at Nairobi Hospital, and whatever it is you want, they'll just bring you if they have it. So at least I was able to get the things I was craving for at that moment. But still, I was just wishing it was possible for me to get at least like a burger or fries or something. Then now your baby is here. So one important thing I feel like I should have been told. I did carry my own diaper for the baby, but they don't ask you for the baby diaper. They just put the diaper they have on the baby. And as a first-time mom, I didn't know how. I wasn't able to judge like a good diaper and a bad diaper. So like throughout the whole night, I was like, these diapers are here, so I can just use them. So I was using the diapers I was given at the hospital until I got home and started now using the diapers I had. I'm like, why would they put these horrible things on newborn babies? Like, the diaper from the hospital is horrible. It's just bad. Like, the quality, it feels like paper. It feels like it's so hard and tough on a newborn skin. And I don't know why they don't ask you if you have your own diaper instead of just forcing the diapers they have on your baby. Anyway, I had to make sure I carry them. So when I do the diaper reviews, at least I can show you what it is I'm talking about. And then something else I wish would have been improved. So we ended up overpaying, and then now after the whole thing, when they're discharging you, if you have a refund, they when you get your receipt, so you're told to come for your refund. So it's something that should ideally take a day, I'm assuming. I mean, it's just the process it took for me to pay should be the process it takes for the money to come back. But then it takes like weeks for you to get, you can easily forget about your refund. It takes so long for the money to be refunded. It should be like a quick thing. The same way I paid, if I paid through my bank account, shouldn't it just automatically like refund the money instead of you having to wait? We waited for weeks, like, wait, did you even get our refund back? So yeah, that for a hospital like Nairobi Hospital, I don't think that's something that should be, going on. But yeah, at least other than that, so the other thing I liked about the hospital is the fact that after you've had your baby, there's so many visits, so the nurses keep coming to check on you. There are many classes that are available. There's a lactation class, there's anything you'd require, really, there'd be someone there to take you through it. If you don't know how to change your diaper, they'll help you. It's not, they don't just leave you there on your own to do your own thing. So overall, I think I was happy with Nairobi Hospital. If I was to do it again, it's the only thing I know, so I'll definitely want to go through the only process that I know, maybe with a little bit of improvement this time. But I would obviously recommend the hospital, but just keep in mind the things I've talked about, the things you need to bring. I think it's good that you bring your own maternity pants or pads. If you bring your own baby diapers, and you insist on them to use the baby's diaper, otherwise they'll just use whatever it is. Bring your own sandals. Everything else is provided. They provide toiletries, so that's good. Really, those are the only things I feel like you need to carry. Obviously, you carry your baby's outfit for going home, and you also carry your own outfit for going home. For me, I just had the same thing I had when I came in. I didn't say they would need to carry so many things. So I think really that's that. That's all I can remember. And if that's it, then maybe those are the only important things that you need to have. Please let me know your birthing process, like the hospital you went to, how the process was. Was it smooth? Was it horrific? Did you go to the same hospital I did? And if you did, what was your experience? Do you think Nairobi Hospital is underrated or overrated? I don't know. Or it really just depends on your experience and the people around you. And then please share, like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more good things for the motherhood journey, especially for new moms. And we'll just keep going through the whole postpartum process and some of the things during pregnancy that I didn't talk about, to just make you a bit comfortable, at least from my point of view. Maybe we can learn a thing or two from each other. See you in my next episode. Bye.